Good morning, everyone. Welcome to your Daily Five. This is Leslie Jouflas. Trading live online is my website. Feel free to visit me. Here is how you can contact me, email, or as I mentioned, just go right to my website and you'll find a contact form there. I've been in the markets for well over 20 years now, and I use technical analysis. I use specific pattern recognition in my trading. I'm going to show you some of that today. And I'm going to show you today a little bit of the analysis that I'm using to look at the indexes. So we're going to look at the S&P 500, the Dow Jones Industrials, the NASDAQ. The Russell is kind of interesting right now, so we'll take a peek at that. And we're also going to look at the gold miners ETF with the symbol GDX. So I'm going to be using my live charts. Okay, so let's start with the daily chart of the S&P 500. Now I'm using the futures chart. If you pull up a chart of the SPY, you're going to find the same types of patterns. On this chart, this is as I mentioned, a daily chart. And you can see that there's parallel trend lines on this chart that have been on here for quite a while now. And they've done a really good job of connecting highs and lows and helping to find some price projections to the upside and also areas of support. As an example, this line down here, this was placed on here over just a little over a year ago. And if we just extend this forward, let me show you what I mean. You can see that caught just about the support area from that last correction down from the market. Now, this line here, this dashed line, this is an internal trend line between the bold upper and lower trend lines. And if you look at this, you can see how price has been really a magnet trading around that trend line. So we're back up to it in that area right now. Well, what I've noticed on this, we've had a strong move to the upside. You can see down here, this is the MACD histogram, and this has made momentum highs with this break to the upside. And the RSI is also showing strength. It's starting to get up into a bit of a overbought level up here. But let me show you what these pink sloped lines are here. These markets tend to make repetitive moves, and they'll make them with expansions and contractions. But right now, I'm looking at the length of this move. This is from the lows of March 2020 up to this high move. And I've cloned this line and dropped it over here. Well, this is bringing the price up to a potential area of resistance above the 4,600 level, somewhere in the range of about, let's just call it a range of about 46.05 up to about 46.25-ish. So I'm going to drop down now to a 60-minute chart so we can get a little bit more detailed view of some other things that might be coming in that area that might be showing some resistance. Now, of course, when markets are at new all-time highs, there is no resistance yet. So if you are doing some projections, then you've got to watch the price behavior, how it acts around these levels. So on this chart, this is actually a 90-minute chart. So we can see sort of this larger swing. So this high over here from September, the high to the low, just taking that swing and projecting it up to this Fibonacci extension ratio of 1.27. So we just looked at the daily chart of that pink cone line. That's just about in the length of that is coming in right around this same price level. So what I'll do if price comes up into that zone is I'll start watching for potential signs of a turn for correction back down. Now, I wouldn't expect right now a really large correction. Some testing, I think, is probably going to be in order. So let me show you a couple of areas that I'll be looking for, and they may set up really nice buy areas as well. So if we look at this high to low swing, you can see these Fibonacci retracements. Notice how the price just came right through these retracements. It didn't really find resistance at these levels. That gives us some really good information that's telling us that there's strength in the market to the upside. So this is what I call backwards Fibonacci ratios. And that's when you just see there's no sign of the support or resistance that you would expect at some of these levels. This is the 886 retracement. This is what I call the last chance fib retracement. And that's because generally when the market closes above this 886, it's going to get at least to this 1.0 and many times above it. And that's what's happened here. So you can see how it's used this level now as a level of support. When I got there, it just sort of fluttered around above it, retested it, and then continued to the upside. So if we see some move back down, I expect some testing back around these previous highs, back around this 886. We can see some previous highs right here and a gap area. So those would be the types of areas that I would be looking for the market to come back, retest, and potentially find support and offer a buying opportunity. All right, let's move on now. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ has been lagging behind a bit, but you can see today it's right up at these previous highs. All of these on the daily chart, what I can see here is I can see, and same on the S&P, is I can see really an Elliott wave kind of pattern forming where we have a wave 1, a 2, and now we have the 3. So that would fit in with our the analysis that we get some correction, which on the S&P may be forming a wave 4 and then another leg up for a wave 5. So we'll see how that plays out. I want to take a look also at the Dow. The Dow is above, finally has kind of made it above the highs. It really struggled for a long time, especially the YM contract, the futures for the Dow Jones Industrial. But now it's made it above here, and so far it's holding above this high. So I'd expect the same for the Dow Jones Industrial to do some testing on a move back down and potentially set up a buy point. Now, interesting is the Russell 2000, and this is an index of small caps, which is known as a bellwether for kind of the US economy. And you can see that it's been in this extremely large range now for quite a long time, and it's not following up to new highs. In fact, right at the top of this trend line, these are A, B, C, D sell patterns. I have 2 of them right here. And so it's going to be interesting to see if this trend line up here holds at resistance again with these sell patterns. Now, of course, these can fail. And what would tell us there's a failure is a strong close above that trend line. But it's just not as strong as the other indexes. So the question really is this kind of telling us something about the US economy? So I would be keeping an eye on that index. Now, finally today, the gold miners, the GDX, I'm using this for the symbol. I think there's some more strength to the upside coming, and it's got a little bit of an extended move up here. The last couple of days, it's been doing a bit of a pullback, and I think looking for some type of retracement pattern. I like to use the ABCD retracement patterns. Those are known as Gartley patterns, and then possibly some more upside up towards this longer term trend line here. But what I've noticed on this chart down here, I've got these dashed lines. These are on the RSI, and the RSI, you can use ranges in the RSI, shift from bull markets to bear markets and back again. So when you see these kind of sideways movements, like back here, and then a break above, you can see that strength comes into the prices. Well, that's what's happened back in this section here. It went sideways, it had resistance and support areas, and then broke out to the upside. So my expectation is that with price pulling back, it really depends, the price may pull back a little bit, and the RSI is pulling back and retesting some of these areas, and then it's ready for another move to the upside. But let's just quickly put a fib retracement on it and see if there might be a price level that we can identify. There's a gap area, and that's going to be right around this 0.50. So I would expect, if it comes down to one of these retracements, probably between the 0.50, 0.382 may offer a good buying opportunity in the GDX and some of the other gold miners. You might want to be looking through some of those charts. Well, those are the charts I have today. Thank you for joining me on your Daily 5, and I'll see you soon on another episode. Have a great trading day, everyone.
Hey, Grayson Rose here with StockCharts. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, consider giving it a like down below, maybe leave us a comment, and if you're new to the channel, you can subscribe at the link up above. We're going to bring you daily content from an incredible collection of technical analysts and financial experts.